Sorry.
Somebody's got to do it.
I was trying to shut the phone off, and it kept coming back on.
Which is
Ready
fine.
to throw it out the door.
I told her, I said, if we do that, they're gonna be on the other side of the gate when they
When I
eat.
worked at FedEx, we had to go by Zulu time. We're just, aeronautical.
That's a hard one to break them from.
Well,
They're all talking about this.
I have one dog that we kept that we, because she was a puppy.
12 hours.
She ate, she eats real slow.
Yeah, no.
Still eats slow?
Yeah. My basic math skills is getting me.
Like to call to order the regular meeting of the Chino Valley Planning and Zoning Commission, September 5th, 2017. Claude, would you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we get a roll call, please?
You certainly may. Good evening, everyone. All right, start with Commissioner Armstrong.
Here.
Commissioner Welker.
Here.
Commissioner Bacon is absent. Commissioner Van Wuffen.
Here?
Commissioner Baker.
Here.
Vice Chair Pesiak.
Here.
And Chair Merritt.
Here. Okay. Moving forward to item 4A, consideration of possible action to approve the June 6, 2017 minutes. Any of the commissioners have any comments or questions? I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes, so
They be
written.
approved.
Have a motion, have a second?
I second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Motion is passed unanimously. Okay, moving on to item 4B, consideration of possible action to approve the August 1st, 2017 minutes. Do we have any discussion?
Point of discussion on public hearing 6B. I'm sorry, public hearing, item 6B, which was the flag lot. As a point of clarification, it was one neighbor to the east that was concerned about dust. And our discussion about dust control was that we were not going to have it as a requirement or set it as a standard so that the person doing this flag lot would not have to provide dust control for the flag lot.
On page 12, that's listed as neighbors as opposed to neighbor. We'd like to change that. And then just to clarify again that we do not want to set a standard for dust control on these flag lots like that. Any other comments or questions? I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes with the changes noted.
I so move for the August 1st minutes.
Have a motion? Claude, second. All in favor? Aye. All right.
Excuse me, can you guys, can you all tell me who moved and who seconded on that?
I moved.
You moved, okay.
And Claude seconded.
All right, thank you.
Okay, item 5, staff reports.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Jason Sings. I'll do a brief report on some current events. I'd also actually like to take a moment to introduce your alternate commissioner. So if you've ever suspect you might be absent from a hearing and you'd like our alternate to fill in, that's his job. His name's Wells Geary. He's here in the audience. Wearing a tie. He's probably going to shadow a hearing or two. Unless, there's sufficient notice, like for example, tonight Commissioner Bacon's not here, but I don't believe a packet was sent to the alternate yet, but like for next month, if you think you might be out, if you would just let the clerk's office know or let Alex or I know, we can let him know so he can review the packet, be prepared to work with the rest of you in reviewing cases, so.
All right.
And then I'll just give you a quick update.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Wells. And his name looks like Wells, but it's just Wells, it's Welsh. The E doesn't function on that one like we would think. Just a couple updates for you. Before Alex jumps in on the next hearing item, I can give you an update on the Town Center PAD. You may recall that from your study session. We do anticipate bringing that forward to you next month on October 3rd. And that's where we have this park models, the assisted living, and the RV park, just behind the Days Inn and the National Bank. I will give you an update. We've got many, many projects coming in. So although we have one item tonight, I would be prepared. We're going to continue to get busier. We're seeing a lot of subdivisions starting to move again, whether they're old ones coming back to life or altogether new ones. Hawks Nest, as you might recall, is that subdivision that wraps the apartment complex you saw a few months ago.
Right.
We have that one coming back in for possible 1 acre lots as opposed to the smaller lots, which is kind of counterintuitive, but we have them coming in for feasibility. We have phase 2 of Whispering Winds. You may be familiar with the project. It's a duplex project off of Road 1 South. They're coming in for phase 2 with 3 new duplexes. We've got Center Street duplex apartments coming in. That's going to be 9 new duplexes. Technical review, we've got Rilibertos, not Filibertos, it's the fresh one, the fried one. They're coming in off of the southeast corner of Perkinsville and 89 North. You might remember the property. They're going to come in with a drive-through coffee kiosk and a drive-through, but with sit-down fresh food Mexican. So you're actually going to see a unique application where there's 2 drive-throughs on the same property. Coming up here on the 19th, which is my birthday, I have to tell everybody that. I just hope she brings cake. We have a study session with the town council. We have an interesting use coming. It's called a food truck court, and they'd like to locate 6 to 8 food trucks behind the Sunshine Vapors. It would be kind of outdoor seating. They've got like a little Kwanzaa hut. So it would be all outdoor and outdoor service, food service. They might have music and events on occasion. They don't aren't really technically defined in our ordinance all that well. They come in under a temporary use. So they'd actually have to go to council for approval for kind of a perpetual temporary use in place. And lastly, coming up soon, we've got the Perkinsville 40 off of Perkinsville Road, 1 road east. We have about 40 acres coming in. I actually know the applicant. She had initially, believed she purchased the property for the intent of cultivation. I don't believe that's available to her any longer. She's not interested in it. And so they're looking at doing small lot residential subdivision, which would require rezoning and a general plan amendment. They're coming in for feasibility on the 13th as well. So just wanted you guys to see what's in the pipe, what's coming your way eventually, hopefully. So that's it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving forward, opening the public hearing portion of our meeting for item 6A, consideration and possible action regarding a proposal for a zone change for a property located on the northeast corner of Bacon Lane and West Road 4 North at 3065 Bacon Lane. The proposed zone change is from existing AR5 agricultural 5 acre minimum to the proposed SR 2.5 single family residential 2.5 acre minimum for assessor parcels number 306040009R. Alex?
Chairman, Commissioners, good evening. Before you have a proposal for a zone change. The property owner, Carol Osterman, has applied and is proposing the zone change for her property. The property is located on the northeast corner of Bacon Lane and West Road 4 North. Property address 3065 Bacon Lane. That's approximately 750 feet west of State Route 89. As you can see here, there's plenty of commercial property buffering 89 and residential directly east of the property. The property is, lot size is 7 acres. Currently, it is on the agriculture residential 5 acre minimum. It is identified within the general plan land use map with a commercial multifamily residential land use. The property is currently vacant, as you see here. This building is no longer there. There's a barn right here. Sorry, a shop right here. That building is currently there. There's a home right here. And then there's a barn over here to the north of it. But as stated, the property is currently vacant and it is not in use. The surrounding area is identified with a predominantly commercial zoning and ag residential zoning, large lots. To the north, you can identify commercial light / agriculture residential, 5-acre minimum, agriculture residential 5-acre minimum, and commercial light. The land uses there are vacant property, single-family residential. You have the Jehovah's Witness Church over here, and Drill Tech Inc. further to the north. To the west, we can identify agriculture residential and single-family residential, 0.16 acre minimum. And it's identified with the land use of vacant land and residential as well. As we all recall, West Meadows, the project for Jim Fletcher, is a little bit further to the west over there. And this is part of that big piece that was a part of it during the pre-plat. To the south, we have commercial light. The land uses there are residential, American Gas, Del Rio Drill and Pump, Clinton Homes, and Backco over here to the south. And to the east, we have agriculture residential 5-acre minimum, commercial light, and single-family residential 1/4-acre lot. So we have residential land uses, vacant land, and Lucy's Bar and Grill. So the applicant is applying for the proposed zone change of 2.5-acre minimum for the purpose of dividing the parcel into 2 parcels, and they're gonna reflect, each parcel is gonna reflect 3.5 acres, approximately 460 square feet. Sorry, 152,460 square feet. So this is the land survey that the applicant's representative, Mr. Miller, submitted to the town, and this is the land survey that's showing the proposal of what the parcel is gonna look like after it's been divided. So it's just gonna go straight down in north and south and divided, and each one is gonna reflect the 3.5 acres. Now, we touched base a little bit last time we were here about the limitations and the restrictions towards lot splits. And just to refresh your memory a little bit, these are the restrictions that property owners, when they want to split their land, these are the restrictions they have to abide by. And the first one is right here. This is part of section 5.2.6 of the UDO. First thing that we look at is that the parcel that is created, the new parcels that are created, abide by the zoning. In this case, we wanted to reflect as if it was a 2.5-acre parcel. This is the underlying zoning on it, meaning that it would have to meet the 2.5-acre lot area, the lot frontage of 100 feet, and the setbacks as well. As you see here, each lot frontage is about 200 and some square feet. So he's going to be abiding by the lot frontage on it, and as well as the lot area. I mean, we're dealing with 3.5 acres. That's more than enough. The second thing that we look at is that the new property line that is created doesn't create legal non-conforming use of buildings from the existing structures that are there. As you see here, and this is an aerial view just showing how the way it will be split. But as you see here, the existing structure, which is the shop, he's gonna meet that side setback. He's required to have 10 feet on the sides. On the front, he's required to have 50 feet from the property line. This is about from the shop to the property line will be about, I would say about 60 feet or so. The only one that is not gonna meet the setbacks is this building, this home that is right here, but that is already identified as a legal non-conforming use building. The proposed lot split is not gonna create that legal non-conforming use. As well with a barn in the back that meets more than the setbacks that is required to meet. The last thing that we look at is the legal access, which is the most important thing. As we see here, that the property is currently abutting West Road 4 North, and it's also abutting Bacon Lane on the side. Either here or here will be considered legal access of those parcels. Quick to note that without the approval of the zone change, the property owner cannot proceed with a lot split. He needs that zone change in order to proceed with a lot split. So the applicant has gone through the public and through the public review process, and he had a neighborhood meeting here at Town Chambers, July the 31st. There was no surrounding property owners that attended that meeting. I have not received any calls of property owners, surrounding property owners that have had any issues or any questions about this lot split. Staff supports the applicant's desire to have a zone change. The zone change will keep the property and the surrounding property as a low-density residential district. The single-family residential 2.5 zoning district will be considered or will be identified as a transitional zoning district from the AR5 to the 2.5 acre minimum. And that will be the transitional for when properties are divided into lower lots. And the lot size will reinforce the predominant character of the low-density residential development. The proposed zone change and the future lot split is not going to have any negative impact on surrounding property owners, because the surrounding property owners are low-density residential, as is with this property. If the chairman or the commissioners have any questions on myself, Mr. Miller is here to represent the property owner as well, if you have any questions for him.
Anybody have any questions for Alex?
No.
Thanks for the presentation. We sure love those pictures a lot better.
Thank you.
All right, no questions for Alex? All right, Mr. Miller, would you like to come up and speak?
Not really, but I will.
Well, you're not required.
Good evening.
You need to state your name and address,
I
please.
forgot that. I'm Jack Miller. My address is 414 West Road 4 North. The only reason for this slot split is my property's directly east of that line, that yellow line on the east side. My mother-in-law passed away, left this property to, she had 3 daughters. We have our 5, and then the 7 she split between the 2 surviving daughters. The middle daughter, who got the middle piece, doesn't want it, and she's gonna sell it, and we don't want neighbors, so we're purchasing it. So that's the whole purpose for the split, is just so that we can purchase it.
Okay.
Family.
Yeah. Well, anybody have any questions for Mr. Miller? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to open the public portion of the meeting, but seeing as how that there's no public here, we're going to move forward and close that portion. Do the any of the commissioners have any questions or problems with anything? Then I would entertain a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend approval to Town Council of this request to rezone approximately 7 acres of real property located on the northeast corner of Bacon Lane and West Road 4 North at 3065 Bacon Lane from AR5 Agricultural Residential 5 acre minimum to SR 2.5 Single Family Residential 2.5 acres minimum.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Commissioner Pasiak, Vice Chair. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Miller. All right, moving on to item 7, non-public hearing action items. Do we have any of those tonight? Okay, we'll close that portion. Any discussion items? No discussion items. Item 9, public comments. Does the public have any comments? As usual, they spoke their piece. I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll move to adjourn.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Commission, for serving.
Way to do it.
Yeah. Huh?
I guess we better live it up. It won't be this easy, it sounds like.
Yeah, for a while.
Monday?
He talked about things last week.
Coffee kiosk.
Yeah, fast food Mexican kind of.